All right, hello guys, you're welcome back to this channel. This is Ike Akinbola speaking. All right, in today's video, we want to talk about something very crucial to every Ambite and everyone trying to gain admission this year. Right? If you're trying to gain admission this year, please on the light for me. You need to make sure you watch this live shown from the start till the end, and it's very crucial you do that because it really determine your success rate this year. It will not be like previous years where you have been writing jam and you have not gotten admission. This year, it's going to be different because we are going to be making you understand the basic things that you have to understand in order to be able to perform. Now, it is something that I've seen a lot of times, and I don't want it to happen to anyone. Now, what is it? I've seen a lot of students score high jam, high score in their jam, but still they did not do very well. They didn't gain admission that particular year. They scored 250, 210, 220, but because of some major reasons, which I'm going to be discussing today, and some factors. So this can be due to a lot of factors, due to a lot of reasons, but I'll be sharing all those reasons for you to you this morning or afternoon now, and then I will need you guys to pay attention and make sure that as much as possible you watch this video and you follow this account for different detailed content like this. So what are we going to be talking about today? Why you might not gain admission even with high scores. You've scored a lot. You've scored very high in jam this year, and you've done very well. In fact, your score is around 250, 270, and 300. Right? I've seen people score 300 and still they didn't gain admission to the university. Right? Now we've seen another person score 210, 215, 202, 180, and still that person still gain admission that particular year. So 210, 215, 202, 180, and still that person still gain admission that particular year. So that means there is something that person that's called higher uh, jam score didn't take note of or didn't take cognizance of, and because of that reason they have still they are still staying at home and they are not going to gain admission this year. So I need you guys to pay attention, right? So today we explain the real reasons why this happens and what you can do to avoid it in case you are preparing for admission this year. So some of you have written jam just to write, and then you know that you are not ready to gain admission or anything. But despite irrespective of that, right, you are still going to be looking at those who are interested in gaining admission this year, right? You are interested in gaining admission this year. So for us to continue, I want you guys to drop your jam score in the comment section. So if you score 210, 215, 220, drop your admit jam score in the comment section. I want to see your jam score in the comment section right away. Do well to drop it right now. Drop it right now. If you're listening to me on Facebook, on TikTok, please do well to drop your jam. I want to see your jam score. What did you score in jam? Someone who scored 210, 180. Don't be afraid. We are looking for way out. So I need to the reason why I need your jam score is because I need to be able to see who the audience I'm speaking with. Is it 280 people? Is it 180 people? Is it, you understand? I want to see what you score. So whenever you're watching this video, either right now or later in the future, do well to make sure that you drop your jam score. Right now, having said that, um many students think that high score would definitely give them admission. They think it is automatic. Once you score very high in jam, they think it is automatic to, without any issue, gain admission into the university. And the truth is that it is not automatic. Gaining admission to the university, it is not automatic, irrespective of your score in jam. If you score 200, if you score 300, it doesn't automatically mean you have scaled through the admission process, right? So one of the things I want you to understand is that admission is competitive. Admission is competitive. It is based on a lot of factors and a lot of reasons, and those reasons coupled with other reasons will determine if you'll be getting admission this particular year, or maybe you will not be getting admission this year till next year. So admission is competitive, and it is not based on your score alone. So whatever you're thinking right now that, oh, I've scored 202, I've scored 207, I've scored 250, it is automatic for me to gain admission. Okay, just calm down. It is not automatic, right? So thousands of students may apply for the same course, and that's where the issue starts. Now you might be thinking you have scored very well. Maybe some of you scored 240, 250, and you think, okay, relatively, because of the score you've had, you think at least no matter what they should be. But you don't know that if maybe majority of those picking that particular course, they've scored higher than you. And you see thousands of them. Maybe you score 240, and you see majority of people picking that course are scoring 250. I'm not knowing that you are ranking maybe number 800 or number 1000 to pick that course. So admission is not automatic, and it's not dependent on your score entirely or only. So take note of that. Now, a school may only have space for 100 medical students, for example, now, but 5,000 students have applied for medicine. So imagine that you scored 250. What do you think is going to happen? And don't forget, out of the 5,000 students that applied for medicine and surgery in that school, maybe most of them scored 290, 300, 310, 320. And this is why you see that even the cutoff score for different schools vary over time, because of they need to evaluate the number of students that have selected their school. They need to check for the number of students that have scored highest, and then use that to determine what their cutoff is going to be. So the school cannot just say their cutoff is 250 without checking the number of students who have scored above 250 that has applied to their school. So this is very, very crucial for you guys to take note of, right? What is the second key point to take note of? The second key point to take note of is that jam is only jam is only one part of the whole picture. Jam is just one side. There are other things involved. There are other things that you must check, right? Jam is just one side. I need somebody to monitor the YouTube for me. Jam is only one side. It is not. It is not the total part. It is just maybe a fragment of it. And that's why you see that even after writing jam and passing the jam and maybe getting a good grade, you need to also consider the fact that you need to do well in your O levels, because recently now one of the things that schools does do is that they make sure that the O level is part of your grading for your post UTME. So your jam is just one part. So school will consider other things. They will consider other things, like for instance, schools that write post UTME, they will consider your post UTME. What did you score in your post UTME? There's some school they will even ask you to come and write post UTME in their school. So what is your performance when you are writing the post UTME? What did you score when you are writing the post UTME? It is very, very crucial to take note of this. Is that okay? I hope you guys are getting it. Please, if you are with me, I want to see some comments and some likes, right? Are you following? If you are following, please, I need your comment to be sure that I'm speaking to the right audience, right? Okay, I think some people are following. Now, let me continue. Another thing to take note of is that you also be considered based on your O-level results. Your O-level results also have a part to play in you gaining admission. And despite the fact that these 2 points are very important, that is your O-level and your post-UTME, other factors also have hand in making sure you gain admission. What is called catchment area. Some students will go and pick the wrong school choice. Now, for instance, medicine and surgery in, let's say, school like Obafemi Awolowo University, they might even be expecting some score. They might say, okay, their cutoff is 280, 290. Even with the 280, 290 they have selected as their cutoff, they might still be getting more people selecting the school. Some people go and do change of institution, right? They'll still want to choose that school. Now, there's what we call catchment area, that okay, people that are from this locality, we want to give them more preference over others. So whichever school you are selecting, make sure that your state of origin, in fact, that's why you are submitting your state of origin, is part of the catchment area. That way, you'll be given more preference. The scrutiny will not be too much. I believe you guys are getting what I'm sharing this evening or this afternoon, right? So, catchment area, consider a catchment area. Also consider your subject combination. Some students will score very high in JAM, but their subject combination does not flow with the course they want to study. Let's say a student wants to do medicine and surgery. He scored 280, but the subject combination is mathematics, chemistry, biology, and physics. Do you think the person will gain admission into university to study medicine? No, you cannot, because your combination is wrong. Biology is part of the major thing, and you are doing maths instead. So your subject combination has to be very tight, and make sure you have sorted that by now. Very, 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 very crucial. Make sure your subject combination has been well sorted. This is very crucial. You cannot even play with that. Now, the last thing is that what is the departmental requirement in that school? In the course you have selected, what is the department requirement? Do you understand? What is the department requirement for you to be able to carry out that course? So, if the department determines what you want to do, if the department determine if you are okay, good to go, then it means that you are good, your admission is secured, and then you'll be able to do very well. I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. So take note of this. It is very, very crucial, guys. Your department has a lot of rules to play as much as possible. Is that okay? They have a lot of rules to play as much as possible. Now, take note of this as well. um the next three key points to take note of is that, number one, every school has different rules. Every school, they have different rules, and depending on the school you are selecting will determine the rules that of engagement, right? So, for instance, the rules in Unilag, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, is different from the rules in Unilag, that is UNN rather, University of Nsukka, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and University of Lagos State. These two universities have different rules. ABU's rule is different from UI's rule, and all these things must be considered while selecting school. Federal schools rule is also different from state schools rules, right? So some schools are more competitive than the other. Then you must take note of this. There are some schools that they are even struggling to get students. Despite the fact that we're having a lot of students being churned out from JAMB and WAEC, we still have some schools that are struggling to get students. What about those schools? Why not consider those schools? So it is very important. So let's imagine two students may have but different outcome because their schools and their courses are different with admission requirement. So all these things must be considered, because some schools, for instance, might have slight or maybe more accommodating admission requirement, while others, their admission requirement are strict, and so that can determine, even with your high score, you might not gain admission this year. Is that okay? So now let's talk about the major reasons students miss admission even after scoring very high. Now let's consider that. Even though there's some students have scored high in JAM, this is why those students still miss admission. I've given you some of the major key factors that you must consider, those key points you must consider while selecting your schools, even though you have scored high. But here now, let's talk about why some students, even after scoring high, they still don't gain admission. The first reason is because they have selected the wrong course choice, right? They have selected the wrong course choice. Now, if you select the wrong course choice, invariably it means that your admission for that year is deferred, and it's impossible for you to get admission to the school, because the minimum requirement is not your score. The minimum requirement is even making sure you have the right subject combination at first. Very crucial and very important. So let me give you an example. So let's say we are looking at some courses that are. Let me give you an example of some courses that are extremely very competitive. We have medicine and surgery. The admission requirement is going to go high. Despite the fact that the school is saying that, oh, 270 and not be able to study medicine. You can score 270 and be able to do nursing. You can score 270 and be able to do maybe pharmacy. You can score 270 and be able to do computer science, right? So if I might be the best in that department because of your JAM score. So it is very crucial to take note of this. So know the competitive